Let's talk about this Knicks and Pacers series for a second. The Knicks beat the Pacers 4-2. I have no doubt in my mind that both teams had similar game plans going into the series. Both teams wanted to be physical. Both teams had a star that they felt could take them to new heights, or could take them to heights, take them further than they would like to go. And both teams understood that just because one's a third seed, one's a sixth seed, they're both evenly matched. Now you can say it only went 6 games. Yeah, but each game was I talked about this last episode, and we saw it time after time again. If you want a perfect snapshot of what experience or lack of experience looks like, look at this series. Experience, and again, I'm recording this before Game 6. I'm sorry, of the Western against the with the Warriors and Rockets. But I think the winner of this Game 6, wins the series. Obviously, if the Warriors win, they win. But if the Rockets win and you have to go back to Houston, you're gaining experience, and there's absolutely no better experience than an elimination game. You start to get a little tighter, especially elimination game on the road. So we'll see. But I will go down and sing, and nothing about this series, nothing about the outcome changed my mind about this. I think the Pistons were the better team. The issue was they couldn't finish. They didn't have a closer. Cade Cunningham was great. He wasn't Jalen Brunson, who hit the game winner on Amin Thompson, who was a fabulous. Is it either a Min or a Sar, one of the Thompson brothers, who was a fabulous defender. The Knicks leaned on the clutch player of the year. Mind you, you know what? Karl Anthony Towns didn't even have a good game in Game 6. It was Jalen Brunson. It was timely buckets from a Mikal Bridges, from a OG Anunoby. It was the hustle from Josh Hart. All players who have been there, at least been to the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, didn't OG win a championship? Maybe not. But he definitely was in Toronto. I'm not saying that the future is automatically going to be bright for the Pistons. We never know. But what I will say is they have the formula. They have the blueprint to have a very prosperous future. Because again, I'll congratulate the Knicks. The Knicks did what they had to do. They won the series. Now they're going to face the Celtics in the second round. So I shout out to them. But I do wholeheartedly think when you look at the game and you watch the games, you know how many times the Knicks would be up 10, 15 points? And in the blink of an eye, the Pistons would either tie the game or take the lead. But when you don't have a closer, when you don't have that person that can really rally the troops, when you don't have the person that can calm the waters, you have good players. But I don't think Cade Cunningham's not at that spot yet in his career. Dennis Schroeder's not that. Malik Beasley, I mean, we saw what happened. The man fumbled the game winner. Literally hit his shoulder and went out of bounds. He was wide open. It was a good pass, too. It doesn't matter if you're the better team or not. If at the end of the day, You're at home and another team is now advancing. It's just, could you execute when you needed to? And as we saw time and time again in this series, one team did and the other team didn't. You can say, well, hey, game 5 was a foul on on Malik Beasley. And he should have been going to the line shooting 3 to essentially win the game. And I could say, you're absolutely right. But how did we get there? If I'm not mistaken, the Pistons were up damn near 20 points in that. No lead, no matter how big, was safe in this series. But again, when you're going up against a team that has a closer, that even though some of the things they did was kind of head scratching, they had at least composure in those moments. They had faith that we've been here before, so we know what to do. Mind you, the Knicks were in the second round last year. The Pistons were one of the worst teams in basketball. So when I say, the Pistons were the better team, it doesn't mean a thing because one team is advancing, the other team is at home. So shout out to the Knicks for beating the Pistons. It's very hard for me to see an avenue where the Knicks beat the Celtics. I know that I've preached that the playoffs aren't the regular season. But the regular season, I think you build championship habits, and when you go up against teams that you could possibly face, teams that essentially are better than you, you want to at least feel like and look like you belong. You want to feel and look like you're supposed to be there. And they didn't win a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't win a game against the Thunder, and they didn't win a game against the Celtics. I don't know how this Pacers and Cavaliers are going to go, nor do I know what happens in the Western Conference, but they're going to have to go through at least all 3 of those to win a championship, possibly. At least 2 of the 3. So I don't really foresee an avenue where the Celtics lose to the Knicks, but who knows? But one thing I will say, and that we do know, is it is such a luxury to have experience, and it's such a luxury to have a player that you have the ultimate faith in, that's going to take you to the promised land, or at least going to win you a game. And that's what we saw in Game 6. Actually, that's what you saw most of this series with Jalen, Brunson, and the Knicks. See, we're even at a point where you have someone like Jay Will talking about Jalen Brunson being the best Knick of all time. I'm not in that debate, but I'm sure Jay Will isn't the only person that's talking about this today. I think the Pistons have the opportunity to be good. I'm not going to say that they'll be back. Who knows? Hell, I didn't think the Pistons were going to be here a year ago. So I don't know, but congratulations to the Knicks for beating the Pistons 3-2 in the series. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.